Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for tuning in to another episode, this time a Christmas Eve edition of the Token Metrics Podcast Engine Room. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Thanks for listening to us in your headphones. If you're here to make a little bit of money in crypto, then we're here to help you. So please go ahead and be sure to subscribe to Token Metrics on YouTube, give this video a like, leave us a comment. We absolutely read the comments. And we're going to spend a little bit of time this Christmas Eve kind of reviewing the year in crypto. For all the things that happened, all the big events and small events, quite a bit of noise. We're here to help you figure out what was the most important things going back to the beginning of 2021, the year that was 2021. I've got Jacob and Stephen here to help us go through the news. I'll throw out this first item that we think it bears the most talking about. It's the fact that legacy markets jumped into crypto this year in a way that they definitely did not in previous years. I can point to two concrete examples here. We have the Wall Street IPO of Coinbase trading under the ticker symbol COIN. And then we also have the launch of the first Bitcoin futures ETF trading under the ticker symbol BITO. Both of these were very, very high liquid events. They pumped tons of money into Wall Street and legacy finance, and it was all fueled by crypto. Stephen, Jacob, what was your guys' experience of seeing the legacy market jump into crypto like this?
Yeah, well, I think Legacy has been trying to get their hands on crypto for a while, for years, and I think they finally took the green light and went ahead. I mean, we saw the BITO ETF, the Bitcoin futures ETF, have, I think, the second most volume for an ETF ever on the first day, and now all legacy markets and institutions are waiting for is the Bitcoin spot ETF, which hopefully will get passed and the SEC allows for it to get created in 2022. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe the BITO ETF, when it first came out, it almost hit 1 billion, and it was very close to the previous gold and silver ETFs when they first came out.
Right on. Jacob, tee us up for item number 2 here. What was the next biggest item that happened in the crypto news cycle this year?
Yes, obviously we need to talk about El Salvador. So El Salvador was the world's first country to make any cryptocurrency but Bitcoin a legal tender. And the law was officially passed on September 7th, 2021, 3 months after the Bitcoin law was passed in the country's legislature. In a show of support, people from all around the world bought $30 worth of Bitcoin because that's what was going to be loaded up in El Salvador's native Chivo wallet of Bitcoin. However, this wasn't just smooth sailing. Just weeks after the legislation was signed and weeks after the law was actually passed in September, massive anti-Bitcoin protesters filled the streets. They actually burnt down a Chivo kiosk, or similar to a Bitcoin ATM. And so, yeah, there was huge rallies against Bitcoin. People were attributing it to drug dealers, money laundering, etc. But on the lighter side of news, the president in the end of September said that actually less than a month after the law was passed, there was a third of El Salvadorans actively using the wallet, or 2.1 million of his fellow citizens were using the native Chivo wallet.
It was some interesting and exciting news to see. One of the crypto journalists I follow on Twitter was actually in El Salvador the day it became legal, the day Bitcoin became legal tender. And he kind of put it to the test by trying to buy coffee and pay for it in Bitcoin. And you know what? It absolutely worked.
Yeah, and at McDonald's.
McDonald's coffee,
yeah,
no less.
Yeah.
McDonald's coffee, no less. This kind of implementation is pretty interesting because it kind of sets the stage for the rest of the world to follow suit, theoretically. And we're already seeing some Latin American countries begin to take steps that direction. And it kind of seems like this is like a national. It goes a step beyond a country having its own national stable coin. We have pilot programs in the Bahamas and other countries like this. Well, in a country like El Salvador, now you can just straight up buy things with crypto, with Bitcoin. Stephen, what do you think about this?
About the crypto entering El Salvador, I think it's really good. And I think that it is something that is happening during this cycle, which we can see a lot more of during the next Bitcoin cycle when it goes on another big tear, maybe in 2024. I think that will be the year when it becomes imperative for nation states to actually start accumulating Bitcoin. Right now, I think we're in the stage where institutions are coming in, and we're not really at the nation state level just yet.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of going on a tear, why don't you tee us up for item number 3 here, looking back at the year in crypto for 2021?
Yeah, so item number 3, we have Bitcoin hitting its all-time highs, and a ton of other crypto assets also hitting their all-time highs. Last year during this time around December, Bitcoin was trading at around the $20,000 to $30,000 range. I believe the monthly was 28,000. This year, Bitcoin went on a serious tear after the COVID crash of March of 2020. Ever since then, it's just been going up. 2021 has been a very solid year for Bitcoin in particular. It has had a lot of the spotlight of the bull market on it. And just to give you some numbers, during the first run, Bitcoin went up to about 64,000. Then it went back down, and then it came back up just recently up to 68,000, almost hitting 69,000. Now that is because Bitcoin has been absorbing a lot of the institutional buying and getting a lot of eyes on it. What will happen next year? My opinion is that I think Ethereum and other coins that actually have a lot of interaction going on in their ecosystems will get more spotlight then. But this year it was Bitcoin. 2021 was Bitcoin.
Yeah, with only 10% of total Bitcoin supply remaining to be mined, I think more and more people are beginning to wake up to the fact that this stuff is actually scarce, and simultaneously there is no limit, there is no ceiling to how high these coins can eventually go. It's all just a function of how they're being used, how many people want to use them, how scarce are they becoming. And so when you see things like an all-time high, it's an indicator that people are waking up to the scarcity a little bit. So here's to a new all-time high next year. I think is inevitable.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I do want to echo Steven's point is that we did see such a major bull run in Bitcoin. We also did see all-time highs in Ethereum, but just not to the same level that Bitcoin was. And I agree with Steven. I think Ethereum's year is 2022. We saw the start of how impactful the utility of Ethereum and these other layer ones are through the metaverse and through NFTs. And I think that also brings me to my point on our fourth item of the list is NFTs. We really saw the narrative of NFTs this past year in 2021. I want to first start with some OpenSea daily volume statistics. So the volume really didn't start picking up in OpenSea until February of this year. It had a daily peak of $100,000 volume in January 2021. Then in February, it was $1 million daily volume. And then it had peak 225 million daily volume in late August. It's gone down now. It's at about 60 million. But this really shows how much money was pouring into NFTs, also using Ethereum and Polygon, other layer ones. So that's really showing the utility of these layer ones, but also showing how much money has been put to the NFT narrative. We saw many blue chip, they're now so-called blue chip projects, such as CryptoPunks, really the first NFT project, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Art Blocks, Axes, etc., making up kind of the NFT blue chip index. We saw a lot of celebrities getting involved, really pushing the network effect of these NFTs. For example, RumbleKongs, Steph Curry, famous NBA player, owns 6. Paul George, another NBA player, also is invested in RumbleKongs. Jimmy Fallon, DJ Khaled, Steph Curry, and Post Malone also own Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, have them as their profile pictures. And I think really what ended this year of the NFT narrative was that it took a turn in a transition from just these profile pictures that were just cool to look at, kind of a status symbol, to really showing the utility behind NFTs. We had the Ethereum name service, which is similar to the domain name service, where you could register Jacob.eth or anything you want, beer.eth, which Budweiser did this past year. And then also we saw the utility of NFTs in land in the metaverse.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about the mainstreaming of NFTs, I think we can look at an event like Art Basel, which is kind of in my opinion, kind of a snooty, super blue-blooded art event that this year became a crypto event. Everybody I've spoken to who's been there for a few years has said, oh, it was a very, very different kind of event this year because it was suddenly flooded with crypto money. It kind of fundamentally changed what Art Basel was. Yeah, I don't know. Steven, what do you think about the NFTs exploding this year?
So NFTs, when they were first blowing up in February, I was of the mindset of most crypto people in the market that they were a little silly and they're just pictures, and I was too risk averse to actually buy them. But now I'll come clean. I am a RumbleCon owner. I own multiple .eth domains, and it is so fun. I definitely think it is something that you don't realize how neat it is until you actually buy one and own one. And just when you realize that neatness, you realize that this is actually really fun to buy, to trade, to own, to collect, and to follow the space. I think it has a very bright future, and the utility for sure, I think, will bring them up a lot, because that's the main argument against them right now, is that it's just a picture. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah. Right. You can.
Yeah, I think
ahead,
also Jacob. To your point is that NFTs, they're fun, they're cool, but they also you get put into this community, you get put into the Discord or their Telegram group, and then you really want to root for that specific NFT community. You feel like you belong, rather than, and when you invest in, or for at least for me, when I invest in a crypto project, I look at it solely as an investment. Is this project undervalued? Same thing, I also look at NFT projects, whether they're undervalued, but also then once I'm invested in it, then I'm not just invested with my money, but I'm invested kind of with my emotions, and which maybe may not be the best, because you don't want to be an emotional investor, but you get involved in this community, which I think is really cool about NFTs.
Right on. Steven, bring us home with item number 5 here, looking back at the biggest crypto news items of 2021.
So item number 5, we have the 2 technical upgrades that happened this year, one to Ethereum and one to Bitcoin. Now, the technical upgrade to Ethereum was EIP 1559, aka the London hard fork, which reformed the Ethereum fee market, modifying the limit for gas fees and introducing a burn feature that takes a portion of transaction fees out of circulation to be canceled permanently. So what that means is when you pay part of your fees for an Ethereum transaction, they're getting burned. And over time, the more people use Ethereum is eventually expected to become deflationary. At the time of speaking of this right now, over 1 million ETH has been burned since the implementation of EIP 1559. And at current rates, approximately 4 million ETH will be burned every year. So that is pretty big news for ETH. It puts ETH into the mindset of a digitally scarce resource that you need, almost like literal gasoline to fuel your car. You need Ethereum to fuel your transactions. And then the second upgrade that occurred this year was the Bitcoin Taproot upgrade. Now, this is notable because Bitcoin does not go through upgrades very often at all. The last upgrade was SegWit in 2017. It's difficult to upgrade Bitcoin. And just from a high level, the Taproot upgrade enables the use of Schnorr signatures and masked scripts, which are just methods of cryptography that aim to make Bitcoin more scalable and compress data. Mainly, the Taproot upgrade is going to help Bitcoin's Lightning Network and help that run more smooth and allow development to occur on that layer 2.
Yeah, it's good to see these kinds of technical upgrades happen. I'm especially thinking about Ethereum because maybe item number 6 on our list that isn't actually item number 6 would be gas fees are out of control, dude. And so any changes or improvements to Ethereum that are aimed at reducing fees, I am way in favor of. I think if and when, but also a little bit of if and when Ethereum actually switches to proof of stake, theoretically that will solve a lot of these problems. So yeah, count me big time in favor of anything that makes it easier to move money around Ethereum without paying $100 for the privilege of moving $100, for example.
Yeah, and not only does it make it easier and take away gas fees, it also makes it a deflationary asset. Right now, it's not. Like Steven mentioned, there's 4 million being burned on an annual basis, but there's 5.4 million ETH being produced. Once it switches over to ETH 2.0 or proof of stake, there's going to be a lot less Ethereum being produced, meaning that it will be deflationary, and this in turn decreases supply. Hopefully demand continues to go up, and that means that the price per Ethereum is higher and we make money. So that's another great aspect, not just the lowering of gas fees, but the hiring the cost of Ethereum.
Very good, guys. So let's quickly recap the 5 items we covered here. We've got the legacy market jumping into crypto like it never has before in 2021. We've got new all-time highs for a variety of cryptocurrencies, in particular Bitcoin, this past year. We've got El Salvador and some other countries following suit, making Bitcoin into legal currency within its borders. The big picture mainstreaming of NFTs, celebrities getting involved and things like this. And then, of course, we've got the technical upgrades to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guys, we want to thank you for your attention throughout this year. We hope you'll continue giving us your attention into next year. Want to wish a Merry Christmas Eve to anybody watching in the U.S. or a country that celebrates. Pay attention to your money, but pay more attention to your friends, family, and loved ones. We'll be right back with you next week. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.